El Clasico, the most highly anticipated derby game in the whole world. All eyes were on this wonderful game of football. Real Madrid looking to end their longest streak of winless Clasico games, whilst Barcelona were looking to continue their dominance in this derby between the two Spanish giants. Let us take a look at what exactly happened in this game of football, Real Madrid being the blue, Barcelona being the red. Real Madrid approached the game in a 4-3-1 formation. In the game we would for the most part see Madrid defending and not looking to press high up the pitch against Barcelona. When they would sit off from pressing they would be doing so in a 4-4-2 shape. However, Barcelona were looking to pin back Real Madrid. This would then mean that whenever Madrid were deeper than a mid-block for the most part, this 4-4-2 shape would then change into a back 5-4-1 shape. During build-up we would see Real Madrid look to build up in a back 3-1 shape that would see for the most part Alvaro Carreras push upfield, and either he would invert allowing Vinicius Jr. the opportunity to attack the wide areas, or they would interchange. Real Madrid did at times find it challenging to build up from the back, as Barcelona would for the most part look to press high upfield. This would then not allow Real Madrid sufficient time and space on the ball. So the adaptation Real Madrid made towards this approach from Barcelona would be to move the ball upfield as quickly as possible and look to attack the space in behind Barcelona's last line of defense, as Barcelona defended in a high line that would leave large spaces open in behind. Real Madrid would oftentimes play quick passes through Barcelona's defensive shape and would be able to find some of Madrid's players upfield with relative ease. This was due to the fact that Barcelona's rest defense was slow in closing off pockets of space around them. Not only this, but they were also not fully aware of their surroundings. As a result, Real Madrid throughout the game were able to find good space upfield, especially whenever Madrid were on the counter. This good exploitation of space was then complemented by the fact that Real Madrid were also really good at making direct runs on the ball. This would allow for Madrid in some situation to be able to bypass two or more Barcelona players, leading to things like having more numbers on the counter or having a lot of space to exploit. The game plan from Madrid seemed clear as they looked to attack Barcelona on the counter. They were more than happy to sit deeper and defend, and whenever the time came they would well execute this counter-attacks. Real Madrid were also really well set up defensively in this game, as it was a bit of a difficult task for Barcelona to be able to find good space in between the Real Madrid defensive shape in Madrid's defensive third. This was mainly due to the fact that Madrid were really good at closing this space down. However, it did seem as though Barcelona were able to find a way to break down Real Madrid's well-organized defensive structure. During the game we would occasionally see Barcelona play good one-to-touch passes that would pull one of the Madrid players that would be playing wide. This would then create space in behind more often than not in the half spaces. Barcelona would then look to allow one of their players to make a run in behind into this half space. There would be sufficient time and space in this area of the pitch for the Barcelona players to then play across into the Real Madrid 18-yard box. There would then be either a player from Barcelona who would be waiting for the cross or making a late run into the box to finish the shot. This is how Barcelona were able to get their first goal. And also late on into the game, this is what forced Real Madrid to begin to defend deeper in the 5-4-1 formation that I mentioned earlier. Throughout the game we would see this form of attack from Barcelona manifesting. However, Real Madrid were really well organized and more often than not were able to snuff out the danger. Barcelona approached the game in the same formation as Real Madrid in this game and would also look to have one of their fullbacks Alejandro Balde overlap, allowing Marcus Rashford to attack the left-hand half space, whilst Kun for the most part would stay deeper and form part of the back three with the two center-backs. Kun would only push upfield whenever Barcelona were attacking with a very high line that would force the Madrid winger, more commonly Vinicius Jr., to drop deeper than usual. On the left-hand side of the pitch where Alejandro Balde overlapped would seem to be a challenge for Barcelona to defend occasionally during the game. Eduardo Camavinga, the Real Madrid midfielder, would drift into these areas of the pitch playing as a right winger for the most part, allowing Arthur Güler to drift infield and attack the center areas as he is more creative. Jude Bellingham would also at times be seen floating in these right-hand areas of the pitch looking to aid Eduardo Camavinga. Alejandro Balde overlapping would mean that whenever Real Madrid would look to counterattack, they would have the perfect space on the right-hand side to exploit. This game was a quite entertaining game in football, and it could have produced even more goals. Real Madrid were really well organized defensively and were able to nullify for the most part most of Barcelona's attacking play through closing off of central space as well as good tracking of Barcelona's runs in behind at times. However, they were exploited occasionally through runs in behind out wide and in the half spaces. Meanwhile, upfield, Real Madrid seemed almost perfect as they were able to tear apart Barcelona's defensive shape for the most part. Barcelona, on the other hand, did not seem to fully figure out how to break down Real Madrid's defensive shape. Although they were able to find one way, it did seem as though they struggled to consistently exploit. Defensively also, we did see Barcelona react slowly to Real Madrid's attacking movement. As a result, Barcelona would oftentimes leave open space for Madrid to attack. Final score: Real Madrid 2, Barcelona 1.